we've talked about the Oh Perfect. For those of you that weren't here, the Oh Perfect is a great tool that you can take with you for when life isn't showing up or the things in your life aren't showing up the way that you want them to. And so something comes in your field and it's maybe not what you intended or desired. The best thing you can do in that moment is to, oh, perfect. Because the universe is guiding you. The universe is moving you into the perfect place for you, the perfect situation for your spiritual growth and development. And if we understand that and truly believe that, then we allow the universe to do what it does, which reduces our own suffering. Because our suffering comes from wanting the now moment to be different than it is. Our mind, our ego, wants this moment to be different than it is actually showing up. When the universe, the divine that flows through us, is like, hey, actually, what you need right now is exactly this. That's why it's here. What is here in your life is what you need. It's not what you want. What you want is a desire. It's a mental construct. And so when our wants and desires don't match the needs, the reality of what's in our life, we create suffering for ourselves. And so this process of, oh, perfect, when situations arise in our lives that don't fit that mold, and the more quickly we can come to the, oh, perfect phase, which in the beginning is like, oh, perfect. And it kind of sucks. It feels like, but you're already starting the process until eventually you're like, oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. This is perfect. Wow. Perfect. Now all of a sudden you're allowing that situation, this now moment, to alchemize through you because you're giving yourself an opportunity to see the moment as if you chose it. So zooming out from your limited perspective, from the little mind into the bigger perspective, that there is a divine flow that's working through us constantly, that we are here for a purpose, for a reason, then we allow that to work through us and we come to that place of, I understand that this mind, that this limited vessel, this limited tool that I have access to can only see this tiny bit of the picture. We can only perceive this tiny fraction of the light wave frequency. We can only perceive this tiny frequency range of auditory hearing. We're only perceiving this tiny sliver of what reality has to offer. So from that, to think that this limited perspective knows all is kind of silly. And so when we zoom out a little bit, we say, you know what, I know that which gives me life, it's not the physical body that gives me life. If someone dies, you can't just bring them back. You have to breathe the breath of life back into them. And even the breath, there's something in the breath, this prana, this energetic essence that gives life. It's something that we can't quantify, that science can't even really identify. This is why synthetics and GMOs, like they're lifeless, quite literally. Be aware of what you're putting into your body. Science is coming up and saying, oh, we can mineralize, we can neutralize these foods in different ways. Well, what they've actually shown is that these genetically modified things that we've been consuming, when they've done studies on ferrets and rats and gerbils, by 2 generations in, they're no longer fertile. They can't produce offspring. Why is that? These synthetics, these things that we're trying to create, don't have the essence of life in them. So there is something that's bigger than us that we can't quite understand with our limited capacity, with our limited faculties. So from that place, what is the purpose? Is the purpose here to suffer? In some ways, yes, because suffering is a great teacher. But what is the bigger picture? Why are we suffering? What are we moving towards? We're moving towards higher degrees of alignment, even with the dissonance outside that we're constantly experiencing, right? Oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. And so from that, we're moving into this higher degree of alignment. That's what the divine wants of us. That's what this experience offers us. That through every aspect of suffering that we're presented with, the quicker we can come to that place of, oh, perfect, and really see it as perfect. This is the process. Eventually you get to the place where you're like, oh, perfect. Because what you start to realize is that every time you're confronted with something that doesn't fit your mold, and you sit with, as soon as it hits you, if you're like, oh, this sucks, man, suffering, you're suffering. How long do you want to carry that suffering? You can carry it for a day. You can carry it for weeks if you want. My relationship, my job, this big thing, my family, right? Oh, perfect. This person doesn't want to spend time with me. Oh, perfect. Someone else will. This job is failing. Oh, perfect. Something else will show up. This place is closed. I wanted to eat here. Oh, perfect. I'll go somewhere else. Now, all of a sudden, what you find is that you go to these, you allow the universe to guide you. You're now in the flow of the universe. And then where you end up, the quicker you get to that oh, perfect space, the quicker you get to this oh, wow moment that you couldn't have imagined before anyways. This is how we know that we're in the flow of the divine, that we know that we're in the flow of creation, because what's coming into our lives is better than we can imagine, because this thing is limited. The universe is not. And when the universe starts to present the things in our lives that are better than we can imagine, it creates the real wow moment, the wahe. These mantras, these mudra, the mantras that we utilize in these classes, in Kundalini yoga, and in all yoga, Sanskrit, these different things, they're vibratory frequencies. Wahe, wah, wah. What happens if something's really awesome? Wow, whoa, wah, wah. This is the frequency of wow, wah, ecstatic bliss, wah, hey, here and now, wahe. Wow, here and now. So these frequencies allow us to cultivate these things into our field. But the only way we really get there vibrationally is if we're at the oh perfect phase. Oh perfect. It's crazy outside. Oh perfect. Life is challenging. Oh perfect. I must need the challenge. I must need the dissonance. I must need the outside to help me cultivate presence in this moment, to help me move past the cluttered thoughts that are in my mind, to help me see through the fog that comes in,